And I had a handshake deal that was, hey, you know, as long as I get my paycheck from playing these gigs, I'll stick around and play as many gigs as you need for me to help you pay off your debts. But I want my share of those gigs. I'm not going to help you pay off your debts and walk away from, give you a debt-free Triumph, thank you very much. No, you know. And I never got a nickel from playing those gigs, like that Kingswood gig, and when we played Puerto Rico, when we played South Padre Island, and we played a gig in San Francisco. I never got any money.
Neither did I. Neither did Mike. Normal Triumph tour was maybe 60 or 70 shows, and would take most of a year, and there'd be a lot of money at the end. In '88, I think we played a grand total of 5 shows, and tried to support our whole organization off that kind of income structure. So there was nothing there at the end of the tour. Rick knows that. For 10 years, I've been listening to Rick badmouth Mike and I, and you know, the truth of the matter is, I tried to settle everything peacefully with Rick. I went over to his house on numerous occasions and tried to speak to him mano a mano, and he's the one that provoked the litigation, hired the lawyers, and he took his best shot in court. And he's angry because he didn't win. And that's what this is all about. It's all about sour grapes.
That was another thing where I went, oh, there's another dagger in my back. Okay, sorry, see you later. But by doing that and leaving, that was like, now it was war. And they decided, not going to be any prisoners here, not going to be, it's going to be scorched earth. And I have scar tissue.
You know, he wanted to go in a different direction, and if you listen to his solo records, I mean, he did go in a very different direction, and he got to do what he wanted to do.
When you're in a band, it's like a democracy thing. And, you know, you sit down and you discuss things, and it comes to a vote, and I lost a lot of votes towards the end, and I was kind of thinking, no, it's time for me to turn into a tyrant.
It's time for me to be a tyrant.
That's the big difference. It's kind of like now the bottom line for everything is me, and that takes some adjusting. And sometimes people, it might say, well, that works to the detriment of your product. But, you know, I don't like to think of it as product so much. I like to think of it as music, and, you know, that's sort of where I come from. When I left Triumph, there was an element there of expectations. You know, oh, you're a rock guy, you better give us a rock record. Wow, you know, geez, you know, maybe that's not exactly what I want to do. And I was carrying the weight of the expectations of the guy that used to play in Triumph. But the business was changing so rapidly. You know, the whole advent of the Seattle grunge thing had really changed the landscape so much, and I wasn't getting any younger either. And there's an aspect of this business, and I hate to break it to you, Bill, but you know, it's about young folks, you know, young people, and you got to look good, and you got to stay looking young, and you got to be making records for young people to buy. That was kind of working against me too, and so you sit back and you look at all of that, and you go, where am I going with all of this? What's going to happen? What am I going to do when I'm 50? What am I going to do when I'm 55?
I love the studio business, and that's how, you know, Metalworks became sort of the, you know, the cornerstone in what I wanted to do with my future. You know, it was built, you know, essentially by Triumph, for Triumph when it started in its first incarnation. And so it got off to a good start as a studio. We've done some movie stuff. We just had Denise Richards here last week. We did some stuff with Steven Seagal. A lot of the big pop stuff. NSYNC was here this year for quite a while. Tina Turner was here. That was a thrill having her here. Over the years, we've had the Cranberries, we've had David Bowie, we've had Mick Fleetwood here. We've had a real kind of who's who of the music world come through the doors at one time or another.
It's like a divorce, you know, and unfortunately, there's always bitterness in however a divorce goes. Show me a smooth divorce. I mean, they don't happen. And I guess this was, you know, just yet another divorce, and it's a series of divorces. But, you know, in 9 out of 10 cases, the divorce parties end up being very good friends by the end of the day. So maybe just the day hasn't come.
We still get fan mail, still get all kinds of people saying, you know, well, you should get back together, you should do this, you should do that.
You must get asked the reunion question a lot then.
It's never ending. So, I mean, that's where it starts. I see someone I haven't seen in a while, like at Canadian Music Week. A lot of American guys were up there that I haven't seen in a while, and they go, so? And I go, so? So?
How many times a year do you get the reunion question?
Oh, about once a day.
Yeah, and so do I. But, and now I'm getting asked again, I think. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it ended so poorly. And there was so much blood, you know, that soaked into the ground that it's hard for me to imagine that I could get past it, or even that they could get past it.
And there were some hard feelings when he left. Probably always will be some hard feelings, but I think you got a choice of how you live your life, and I don't, you know, bear grudges, and I don't let those kind of feelings, you know, cloud my perspective on what happened overall, and I feel really good about Triumph.
We went out on top. You know, our last tour was a sold-out tour throughout North America, and you know, we didn't digress into or degenerate into, you know, an ugly bar band scene of, you know, a band that's, you know, finished.
Does it hurt you or surprise you that for 10 years there's been extremely little contact other than just through second parties and lawyers?
You know, I haven't tried to cut off any communication with Rick. Mike and I are good friends, and we always have been.
The emotional attachment we had, and the friendship we had, and the fun we had, you know, that's you miss a lot of that as time goes by. And you know, it would be fun to just get together, like Gil and I see a lot of each other. Not enough, but you know, we're still good friends.
I think I might have had a couple of conversations with Gil in '89, but they didn't go well. You know, I hope if he sees that, he'll laugh too. You know, no, it didn't go well. And he's tried to call a couple of times more recently too, but you know, it ended so poorly in the end that there's just really not much point.
Yeah, I certainly miss Rick. You know, he was a really good friend, and you know, life is what it turns out to be. And you know, the book hasn't been closed yet.
You just never know how things are going to turn out. You can't predict the future.
I did some shows with the guys from Nazareth. You know, these guys, these Scottish guys that had just been in this rock band all their lives. They didn't know how to do anything else except be Nazareth. When I saw those guys together, I really felt a twinge of regret that, you know, here they had their little club and they kept it going, and it was still there for them, you know. And I felt badly about that. That I wished that there had been.
You know, you never say never. Anything is possible.
You talk about, you know, water under the bridge. Well, the water went under the bridge, and then the riverbed dried right up, and then it cracked, and it turned into rock, and it fossilized. And I mean, it took a long time to get any kind of resolution of anything. So it just seems, I never say never. It's really hard for me to imagine that it could happen, you know. But who knows?
Bye.